It says it's connecting. Hopefully everything is okay. It says connecting.
Yeah. Still says connecting.
Yeah. We have one viewer. Okay, I think it's working.
Oh, so it works. It's not updating on mine. Oh yeah, now it says live. All right, cool.
Okay, now we're live.
Yay.
Okay, awesome. Well, hello, kittens, and welcome to Crosswords and Discourse with me, Stephen Bradford Long, and Lirpa Strike. So the idea is that this is like Twitch, but for old people games.
Yeah.
And um, and so and also this is the first time that Lirpa and I have actually like spoken to each other. So
It
far, we
is.
don't hate each other, so that's great.
So far.
Might end up becoming our.
I
Baylor is.
do need a nemesis. I do need a nemesis.
I'm happy to be
Taking
your.
applications.
Baylor is asking where my beard went, and the answer is I got sick of dealing with it. So I was clean shaven for most of last year, and then Helene happened, and there was no water to shave with. So I grew a big beard, and then I got sick of it. So the beard is gone. Okay, so we are going to be playing the Monday New York Times crossword, and along the way, we will have some conversation.
Yeah.
Now, I full disclosure, I am terrible at crosswords, and I don't play them.
I do them all the time. I'm a master.
Okay,
But
I'm a newbie. So do the crossword for the New York Times. You're all free to play along if you want.
yes. We're doing the Monday, which is the easiest of the week. For the uninitiated, it's easiest Monday and gets progressively more difficult until Saturday, which is the hardest, and then
Okay.
Sunday is Wednesday level. So we are
Oh,
doing a simple one today.
okay, awesome. Okay, so Lirpa, tell people who you are and what you do.
Oh, well, I am Lirpa Strike, and my publication is called Just Saying, which is not the most creative name, but I just wanted I wanted Lirpa as like my URL, and so I just like snatched it real quick and didn't start writing in it for like 3 more years. But uh,
Nice.
yeah, and then I
It,
write about I don't know, current event. Well, not so much current events, but a lot of like cultural issues. And I've been on a real like personal essay kick lately. I've got one coming out probably tonight later after this.
your stuff is awesome. Everyone should go read
Thanks.
it.
So
Fun.
is yours.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, your personal essays are fantastic. I love when you get into like the dating discourse, which is always very exciting for the perennially exciting topic of
Yes,
that.
it's everyone's favorite topic, including
And
mine. I'm kind of obsessed with it, so
yeah,
expect more.
well, I will be covering. So I have a piece right now about sexuality where I'm responding to Sophie's article, where
Oh, her latest one about
her
the
latest
gaming thing?
called "Manufacturing Sexual Consent," which
Yeah.
was so good. I thought. Um, Very very interesting. um you know on in addition to her being an edgelord, which she is, and that's fine. uh
Mhm.
but along the way she made some very good points about the limits of consent, so I will be writing about that this coming week. That's the goal. um
Nice.
okay, so let shall we start with the first across for the New York Times
We
crossword.
should. And it's already an asterisk, which means it's either going to be a trick question or part of some sort of theme. Or what else does asterisk mean?
Part of some sort of what?
Like a theme. Sometimes they'll do like if there's more asterisks. Actually, I'm going to scroll up and down. There aren't, so
Yeah,
never
I don't.
mind my theory.
Okay.
Mhm.
So tisk tisk in text speak is down, which would be
Tisk tisk. SMH, shaking my head. I'm gonna
oh,
guess that's that one.
shaking my head. Yeah, let's try it.
All right.
Okay, shaking my head, and then
Ooh, I bet that one across is probably star instead of asterisk. Let's see what two down is. New
uh,
Mexico art locale.
it's
What's that cool place in New Mexico? Is it Taos or something? No, I'm thinking of Santa Fe. Never mind.
Hold on. Interface issues right now. Okay, now how do we make sure? Okay. Oh, and then I click. Okay, I'm getting it. With
Yeah. I usually do this on my phone, so I don't actually really know how to. I'm learning how to navigate it with my mouse as well. So
yeah. Okay, so first one across, shaking my head, SMH, and then first one down, shaking my head, first one across, STAR,
that's what
star.
I think.
Okay, and then shall we go to
Well, let's
two?
just two. Okay, let's see. So two down. We've
New
got.
Mexico art locale.
Mhm. I'm not quite sure.
I have never been to New Mexico.
It has been a million years. I went when I was like
Oh,
15.
Ian is asking us to give them the number of letters.
Oh, the number of letters is 4, and
Yeah.
we think it starts with a T. But I'm starting to wonder, I'm starting to doubt our one across as star because I think that 14 across is
Vic
made.
said you already said it. Did we already say what the word was, or did we already say
Already said it like
or no?
Taos. Is that what you mean? Taos? I was thinking of Santa Fe because I heard that that's a really artsy. Oh, well then that would make sense for made being 14 down. Let's go with it. I'm gonna give that a shot. So Taos, Taos.
We will do it. Okay. Um,
And then 14 across as manufactured, 4 letters, MA. I'm pretty sure that's going to be made.
okay, so 14 across is MADE. Oh wait, got
And if you guys want to follow along, I don't believe you need to be. I'm not logged in, so I don't think you need to be a subscriber, a paid subscriber to follow along or play too. So feel free.
MDE. Taos. Okay. So do we want to do number 3 down?
Yeah, let's see. We've got what applicants may be seeking, and it is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 letters. And crosswords can be more than one word, so I'm thinking it's going to be a something.
Oh, by the way, we have an interruption.
Kitty interruption. Oh, which one is this?
This is Eli.
Eli.
Yes.
Oh, he said hello.
He's toothless. He's very loud.
He's like, fuck you, Dad.
Okay. Um, so number 3 going down is what applicants may be seeking. Um, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 letters. Starts, we think, with an A and a D.
Ooh, okay. So because I wanted to see the third letter of that, I checked out 17 across, which says commonly visited part of a website. So I'm thinking that one is homepage. So that gives us an
But
M.
if that's homepage,
Mm-hmm.
that 2 going down is not T-A.
Oh, it is Taos. Am I spelling that wrong?
Did you say
Ta-
T-A-O? T-A-U-S.
Is that how you spell it? I'm gonna need
I,
to Google
I
this.
don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be.
Oh, it is Taos.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
T-A. T-A-O-S. Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
And so what did you say 17 was?
17 across is homepage.
Home. That makes complete sense.
Yeah. I still don't know what 3 down could be with that, but oh, 4 down is actress Witherspoon. That one's an easy one.
Reese.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is easy. Okay.
So I think to get 3 down, we're just going to have to keep doing these acrosses because I see 20 across. Tell me if I'm taking over because I
No,
tend to
no,
go in
take over.
crossword turbo mode.
No, please, because I am a mere adept at crosswords.
So emphatic yes in Spanish would be CC, like just yes twice. So then
Emphatic yes would be, which number is this?
that is 20 across.
20. Okay, SESE.
SI.
Oh, got it. I'm a
So
writer. It's okay. Okay,
I,
for everyone who's new. Okay, we have 20 people now. So
oh, we do.
um, hello, welcome again. This is Lirpa Strike, Substack best friend who I just met. First time. Um, but we're doing the crossword. We're hanging out. We're chilling. Super chill time. And maybe we will get into some conversation about Substack discourse. Eventually, we are doing the Monday New York Times crossword. Please feel free to join us. You can follow along. Okay, where were we?
We are on 24. Well, I am on 24 across because I think that 3 down, which is that what applicants may be seeking, is going to say it's going to be something about administration or admin something, just because it looks like there's going to be an N there. So,
Okay, my fat boy is wanting to get back into my lap. I know. It's okay. Um, yeah,
but
it's 3.
24 across is study abroad program on a ship.
Oh,
I have no idea what that is. So,
I have no idea.
ooh, let's go to 5 across. So what I
Okay,
tend to do is I'll go all the crosses and then all the downs, but then, after a while you just kind of go all over the place. But
sure.
5 across looks like an easy one because it's a section of a circle and it's 3 letters. I'm going to say that's ARC, ARC.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then if we do 5 down, pi blank mode. Looks like a la mode to me.
Pi. It looks like what to you?
A la mode.
Got it. ALA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. And we've got, now I'm looking at 6 down because I just hit tab and that's the direction it wanted to go. So let's see, aid in washing a car. We've got the R and the G. I'd say that's a rag.
Wait, so we are at 8 now?
6 down. Sorry, I'm
No,
going way ahead.
no, this is perfect. Okay. Okay, so 6 down is aid in washing a car, which would
Mhm.
be
I think
uh
it's rag.
R
RAG.
R A G. Okay, perfect. Um, you're definitely like the smart girl in class right now, helping.
I can just spell anything, so I'm really naturally inclined to this game.
Her. And then are we
It is,
looking 7 down?
yes. So a
Okay,
treasure holder. I'm
a
gonna go
tre-
with chest because 15 across is blank dee
got
da,
it.
and that would be la dee da.
Yeah. CAST. Chest. Yep.
And then let's see, 8 across says accompany as to a dance.
Accompany as to a dance.
Yeah. Hmm. Have you seen Hamilton? I swear
I,
this is related.
I have never seen Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
I bet people in our friends in chat have
I,
seen Hamilton.
I bet they have. So
Okay,
the
so yeah,
the
tell.
only reason I ask is because I went ahead to 9 down because I wanted to see if I could get more clues for 8 across, and it's Philippa of Hamilton, and I can't remember her last name. I think it might be like Sue. Does anybody know in our chat here? I think it is like SOO, but I don't know. Oh, escort. Okay. Accompany as to a dance would be escort.
Oh yes, that makes sense.
And that way, SOO for the Hamilton actress can in fact be SOO, which I believe is her last name.
Sweet.
Let's see.
So so 9 down is SOO.
Yes.
Got it.
And I want to Google it to check, but I feel like that would be cheating, so I'm not going to. We'll find
Okay.
out if it's wrong at the end.
Sure.
Unless one of our, I feel like it's not cheating if someone else is helping. So like if someone in our audience or chat here tells us that we're wrong and it's really like SOU, then we're totally not cheating. They can tell us
Well,
and
people
we're
in the
fine.
chat Google for us.
Yeah.
Um, so are we looking at 8 down now?
Yeah, let's look at 8 down. They may be forced or unforced.
It may be. It's like a Zen koan.
A what?
A Zen koan. Do you know what Zen koans are?
Uh-uh.
Oh, well, we'll have to talk about Zen koans in a second.
Yeah, we will.
They're amazing.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Man, I just don't know yet. Let's see what 16 across says. Sweet mate. Mm. Roomy? No. If it
Uh,
was a if it was a casual word like roomie instead of roommate, then the clue would indicate it. It would say something like sweet
yeah.
mate for short or something.
Uh huh.
I'm gonna look at 10 down.
Okay.
Central area of many a palace. Ooh, is that a courtyard
Courtyard or courtroom.
or courtroom? Perhaps, let me see.
Oh, it's yard. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So then
I
16 across, sweet mate is
yard.
gonna.
We'll go with courtyard for now.
Okay. I think that 16 across might be roomy. That's going to annoy me because that goes against typical crossword convention with the hint, but I feel like it might be.
Oh, Crypto Gal is saying forced or unforced error.
Error.
By the way, Crypto Gal,
Oh.
hello. Your articles are amazing.
Oh yeah, I need to finish your sexual
Yeah.
harassment ones by the end of the night before they go paid.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, go paid tonight?
Yes.
God damn
So we got to get it while it's hot. I have
it.
them opened.
Can you can you please send me a free version? You don't need no, I'll read it tonight before bed. Um
It is
at
roomy. I think you're right. God, that's annoying.
R O
I'm going to
O
complain in the NYT comments on this blog tonight about this
there.
exact clue. I'm not
Excellent.
even going to be the first one. I'm sorry.
Okay, yes. Everyone go I just need to emphasize everyone go read Crypto Gal's fascinating articles about sexual harassment. They're awesome.
Yes. I
Um
have
okay, so we did roomy. Are we going to do 19 across?
19 across. Yes. Series of professional calls as by doctors.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters. Series of professional calls as by doctors.
And it starts with ROU.
Wait.
Routine is too long of a word.
Yeah,
It could be routes, but that doesn't,
that doesn't make sense.
no. And okay, our upscale hotels, I'm looking at 11 down all of a sudden right now. Sorry, so you can keep up.
No,
11
you're fine.
down is some upscale hotels. Are those Omnis? Does anyone
Yeah.
stay at upscale hotels? Because I sure don't.
Oh god,
Omnis.
I just fucked.
Oh,
Hold on. Rewind. Okay, now we're good. Um,
okay. It's rounds, series of professional calls as by doctors. They're making their rounds.
they are making their rounds. Got it.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Mountain crest. That would be it starts with RID and there's two more letters, so I'm assuming that is ridge.
Uh, which one are we on? Oh,
We are on 12 down.
12. Yeah, Rich makes sense. 13 down?
13 down. Actress Thompson of the Creed movies. Is that, that doesn't ring a bell to me, but it looks like it's going to be Tessa or something. Because
Yeah.
23 across would be Riggs. And then,
Tessa. We'll do Tessa.
yeah. Oh, yeah, because C24 across, that really long one, study abroad program on a ship. The last word ends up being C, so that makes sense. Something at sea, probably.
Uh,
If you look at 27 down, it says quiet place in a church. Is
uh,
it,
quiet
that is
place.
a four-letter A word, right? It's not asp, is it?
Ass.
Asp with a P, like ASPE?
An ass can be a very quiet place in church.
Yes. It's quite a sanctuary in there.
It really is. Okay.
Confession booth. It's 4 letters and it starts with A. Ooh, okay. I think I figured it's apps, not asp. I just like said the snake instead of the
App.
church room. APSE. And the reason that I say that is because 31 across is going to be I Spy. Like that's one of those road trip games people play.
Okay. 27 is at 27 down is asps, and then which one were we looking at?
31 across.
31 across. Doop,
Mhm.
doop, 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 doop. Okay, there it is. So it'll end in SY, a kid's game that may be played on a road trip. I
Mhm.
Spy.
Yeah.
Well, wait, no. What were you thinking?
Me? Oh, I Spy. That's what I thought.
I Spy?
Hmm.
But it's an SY.
Oh, no. 27 down is APSE. I got
A
that wrong. Yeah, like I was thinking asp, like the snake, but with an E at the end, but it's really apps. And
S.
I'm more confident about I Spy than I am
Yeah,
about the church one, which is why I swapped those letters.
I got it. Okay. I Spy. Beautiful.
Mhm. Oh, here's a fun crossword trick that
Hey,
I like to
over
use.
here.
Hi, all the new people who are here. I can't see everybody. Oh, Sophie, yay.
Yeah.
Sophie and Chris. I don't know how to work this thing.
Chris joined. Um.
Oh, you probably have more access than I do because
Oh yeah,
it's your
definitely.
video. Oh,
Sophie, I'm quoting your article this week about manufactured sexual consent. So you have that to look forward to. Okay.
so
Which number?
I wound up on 21 across because I was curious what 22 down was. And 21 across, Bay Area airport code is SFO.
S F. God damn it. S F O. Nice. Okay. How do you know these things? Do you know?
I really like acronyms. I used to work at the airport, so I know a lot of airport codes.
Baylor is calling me out, saying, "Sophie, Steven also called you an edgelord earlier." It's fine. Hear me.
Sophie's our favorite edgelord.
She is. She is the mitochondrial Lilith.
Yes. Okay, here's a crossword tip. So, do you see 22 down?
Hold on just one
It's,
second.
oh,
Yes,
okay.
Chris are doing the crossword for
Yes.
the New York Times crossword. Yep.
So anybody new who wants to follow along, it's the New York Times crossword, and we're doing Mondays, not Sundays. Mondays is the easier one, and it just came out. So um, yeah, feel free to follow along, please, and help us
Yeah.
out if we get stuck,
Perfect.
or make fun of us if we don't know the answer. Whatever you decide.
So Sophie asked, "How far along are we?" We are at, I don't know,
We
Lirpy. Lirpy.
we
Lirpa is like speed
we kind of
running.
have like the first third, the
Yeah.
first like top third done.
Yeah.
This is totally going to throw off my averages because we are
Uh,
talking, but you should see me. I'm so strict when I do this on my phone. If my husband tries to talk to me, I turn my screen off
you
so that
punch.
like the timer doesn't keep going. I'm
You kick
like,
him.
you can't fuck with my average, man.
If he interrupts you, you
It's murdering it today, but
commit
that's
to
okay. It's for a
you,
good
his
cause.
husband.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
like, don't fuck with my time.
Fair. Reasonable. We all our marriage. Okay. Are we? Which number are we on?
Okay, I'm looking at 22 down.
22 down.
Yes, and that is more spunky.
Fight.
Yes, I know that word.
Feist,
Feistier.
feistier. Feistness. Feist.
Iced. It's going to be or I'm sorry, IER at the end because whenever the clue says more something, it's always going to be ear. It's going to be like or whatever.
Yeah.
So feist ear. Yes, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Yay! You did one.
You did it. You're gonna be a master in no time. All right. Okay, so let's see. 24 across is the one that is just, I want to get that one super bad. Study abroad program on a ship. If that one, if we can finish that one, then. Oh, okay. Do you see how it highlights 40 across when you click on 24 across? So they're
Yes.
related. So 40 says ignore suspicious behavior or a hint to the circled letters in 17, 24, 51, and 62 across. Ignore suspicious behavior. ERATS. Stare. It's stare backwards. I don't know. Yeah,
I
these are all like backwards.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Sorry, I'm doing this like thinking out loud thing.
That's great.
You're
No,
so close, Vix. What is it? Do you know the answer,
that was
Vix?
the
Are
last
you
word.
just waiting for us? Huh?
That was for the last word.
Oh,
Or maybe not. Maybe wrong.
36 across. That's going to be an easy one. That's one of the Obamas. And it already starts with SA, and there's three more letters. So that's
Thir-
Sasha, isn't it? Sasha and Malia. So it would be, this one would have to be Sasha.
So 36 across is Sasha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Vix is saying that they finished it. So
Oh, you finished it. Gotcha. Nice. All right, 38 down. That starts with H from
what
Sasha.
does, what does Sophie mean when she says "turn your backs on"? Question mark.
Turn your backs on. Is this for, which clue is this for, Sophie? Is that for the,
Oh, 24 across begins with a length of time at a college. Sophie.
semester at sea?
Oh,
Aha! Thank you. I thought it was 40.
yes.
Perfect. Is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing. Semester at sea. I thought that was just like joining the Navy or the Coast Guard or
That,
something.
that for rich Ivy League kids, which we were not, presumably.
No.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Perfect.
Let's see here. All right, let's just go in blind at 28 across. Krypton or argon? Is that a gas?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a
know.
guess.
Okay. What is krypton? Have I just never heard, I never paid any attention in science class. I was terrible at it. But if we do 28 down with that G, a fancy party is a gala.
Gala. Okay.
Mhm.
Never been to one of those either.
I went to my very first one a couple months ago. It was when I
Oh,
went
well,
to visit Minnesota. It was like
I,
some sort of holiday opening thing for like the Galleria. It's in like the rich part of the Twin Cities, and a
right.
friend of mine like had a ticket or whatever and brought me, and so it was super cool. Got to dress up and look all fancy, which I never do.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
it was fun.
Awesome. Okay, Gala. Which one are we doing next?
Let's see, 29 down.
29
Part,
down with an A, starting with an A, part of a brain connection.
and it is four letters. Part of a brain connection. Oh, you know what? I just saw a different word though. Three down. Like as I was looking at it, that's going to be admission. So what applicants may be seeking? Applicants are seeking admission.
Yes, totally.
Oh, and so that way we can get 32 across, which X or Y on a graph is going to be an axis.
32 axis, yes.
Mhm. And so then
You are.
29
Oh,
down, part of a brain connection, AX. What does that? I mean, it would be axle. There's no axles in your brain, right?
axon,
Uh,
according
axon?
to Gal.
ON? What the heck is an axon?
Axon, Mike and Crypto Gal, and Sophie, everyone is saying axon. Tell us what an
Thanks,
axon.
guys. Do you guys want to explain what the heck an axon is? Because I've never heard of that before. Oh, so if you look at 17 and 24 across, the circled letters, if you read them backwards, 17 across is gape, and
Yeah.
then stare is 24. So I think they're all going to be like, some way to look at someone in a rude manner or something like that.
Gape. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, and 40 across is look the other way. Is that what Sophie had said earlier? Look the
I
other.
so.
My cousin was on Wheel of Fortune once, and I feel like I need to find a way to get on that show because I think that I could win. I would go on so many cruises or whatever it is they give away.
Yeah, it just said that we're officially halfway through.
Sweet. We're doing so great.
Yes, we are. Um,
Here's an interesting one. Look at 18 down. That is cotton variety, and it's 4 letters, and it starts with PIM. I have no idea what the different varieties of cotton are.
hold on. I'm in North Carolina, so I might know this answer. 18 down,
Yeah.
cotton variety. PIM something.
What was 30 across? I
Emo,
see. I see is going to
according
be
to
aha.
according to
So I get,
Monique.
I'm sorry, 42
By,
what?
by the way, hello Monique. We love you. Pima.
Oh, thank you. All right. Pima cotton. Interesting. Never heard of it.
Same.
Oh, okay. So 34 across. Oh, wait a second. 25 down,
25 down is a pop.
a pop. And so far we have EH blank H, which does not look like any kind of word could be made out of that. So I feel like something is wrong.
I don't. Where did
Look.
H come from? The
Where did
EH,
what?
the first H. You
Oh,
said H blank H.
right. So 30 across, I think is aha, AHA,
I
because
see.
the clue is
Ah,
I see.
oh,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, yes.
So unless it's like AAH, like which that's just not a common crossword clue. But an extra H in 26 could work. I mean, SH. But a pop. Oh, they mean a pop, like everyone gets one a pop or whatever, something like that. So it's going to be each, EACH. So I think I was right. It is going to be AAH for 30 across.
Ah,
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. Okay, awesome.
And then 34 across is going to be cons because there are no pros, cons.
Hold on. What was 26? 26.
26
Look,
down.
look. I'm just making sure I didn't. I just submit. Okay, no, we're good. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, uh, we were doing 34 across, correct?
Yes.
What?
34 across. The clue is there are no pros,
There.
and I believe it is cons.
Yes, got it.
Let's
You
see, 26 down, since we're still on that O. Bird named for its beak's shape. And it's 8 letters, and it starts with
shoehorn.
shoe. Shoehorn?
Shoehorn.
All right. Is that really what its beak looks like? I want to Google it now.
Yeah.
Google it.
Everyone Google shoehorn.
It does.
Yeah.
It does look like a shoehorn. Neat. Well, anyway. Um,
Let me make sure that's right. Right. Bird. Oh no, wait.
ooh,
Bill. It's shoe bill, not shoehorn.
shoe bill. Okay.
Yes.
Shoe bill. Oh, that makes sense because 44 across with the B, that's going to be brie because it's soft French cheese, BRIE.
Hold on, hold on. I got distracted. Okay, okay. Ian was just in my chat saying I already did the crossword and I'm going to ruin everything. IL. Okay, so we have shoe bill for 26 down. What was after shoe bill?
So what I did was I looked at 44 across, soft French cheese, which would be brie with all the rest of the letters that we've got.
3. Yes.
And that makes neither's partner, which is 35 down, nor. So I believe that is correct.
35 down?
Yep,
Nor.
35 down is nor.
Yep.
Oh, so 43 across. Musical based on a comic strip. Now I'm pretty sure that's Annie. Although I don't recall that being a comic strip, but I might actually be too young for something. I don't know.
Musical based on a comic strip. I don't remember it being. Yeah, I would go with Annie.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. So 41 down.
41 down.
That is a rip. I'm going to go with tear.
Yep, that's right.
I'm trying to get 33 down, so I'm kind of working in this corner over here and trying to get the, because it's going to be like, I bet it's like ski resort,
You have a
but
method.
I do kind of have a method. It's a little all over the place, but it's also, yeah, I don't know. 46. Actor Malik, who played Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. I never did see that. Who is that actor?
Oh, dear chat, who is the actor in Bohemian Rhapsody who played Freddie Mercury?
I know somebody knows this.
Hey, Tommy Blanchard just joined. Remy.
Remy.
Okay.
Oh, then what's with that? Is it maybe Rami? Like Rami? Because I'm, I am 99% certain 41 down is tear, which would make
Wrong.
an A instead of an E. Oh, Rami. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, if we just keep going across to 45 across, extremely serious.
Starting with the D. Dower.
I That's what I think too.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what those other downs look like. Like say 38 down, for example, damage. Oh, I think that's going to be harm.
Oh, yeah, that
So I
makes
don't, I'm going to
harm.
delete that O.
Yep, that makes sense.
Oh, and 39 down is yes votes that are an anagram of other yes votes. I think that would be eyes, AYES. And that would be dire instead of dour for extremely serious, like an extremely serious situation. I was
Yep.
thinking extremely serious person, which I think you probably were too, since we both picked dour.
Yes. Okay, so 39 down was what?
Eyes, AYES, like you're voting.
YES. Got it. Yeah.
Mm.
And then 37 down. That's a big one. We'll get to that.
Yeah, let's see. Sweet swirly dessert item. Swiss roll?
Wait, which number? Oh, Swiss roll.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, because
that
50 across is SMS for sure.
Swiss. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
we're doing great. Ooh, who's the Greek marriage goddess? I'm looking at 42 down. Is that Hera?
I should know.
H. Ooh,
It's
it is. It's got to be because 48 across is period of time, which has got to be era.
era. 48 is era. Nice.
So I'm going to just go for it and put that A at the end of 42 down. I'm guessing it's Hera.
Yeah, totally.
Hera. Thank you, Monique.
Yep.
Monique is confirmed. Ooh, poker buy-in, number 49 down. That's going to be an ante. This is like the every crossword's favorite word, like as a filler word, is ante. It's like in every single one, I swear.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, what's next?
Let's see. How
Shall we
about
do
50? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
58 across?
58 across. Let's see. That is purple flecked root vegetable.
Ooh.
The heck is that?
I have no idea.
Purple
It
flecked.
starts with a T. It has an
No,
R middle, 4 letters. T blank R blank. Purple flecked root vegetable.
yeah. I feel like I can picture it, but I'm thinking of like, I don't know, a strange carrot or one of those purple potatoes or something. Huh. Root vegetable.
Turnip.
Taro?
Taro. Yeah, maybe taro.
I'm gonna enter that in because it sounds right. Let's see. Ooh, I think that is correct because 55 down,
Is
tapas, right? Tapas. Small Spanish dishes.
APA. Yep, that is right.
All right. And I think that that means that 54, well, okay, so 51 across is one of those longer ones. And it's funding sources for many labs. And I'm sure that 54 is going to be a G because it's going to be grants, some kind of grants.
Yeah.
Which also makes me think if you look at the circled letters and based on the theme of them, it starts, if we go backwards in that grants, it's GL blank RE, well, blank. I think it's glare. So I'm going to fill in the A
Yeah.
and the E.
A, E, and then G.
Oh, I bet it's federal grants then. 51 across is federal grants.
Federal grants. Yep.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Almost done. Dumps from the payroll. 51 down.
51 down.
Fires. I'm guessing.
Fires. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Grants. Yep. 56 across.
56 across. Courier and
Blank.
blank. 4 letters, starts with an I. That does not ring a bell to me.
No idea.
Mm-mm.
Um.
Counting on you, chat. It's Hawaiian.
Oh, that was for the tarot.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, interesting. Good to know. See, you learn so much with these crosswords. All sorts of interesting things. Well, what's 52 down? Maybe that'll give us a clue.
Yeah.
52 down. Listing in an engagement calendar. I want to say event.
Yeah. 53 down. Land at river's mouth.
Is that a delta?
I think so.
And that is ski resort, 33 down, because there's RE. So you can do resort. 56 across then, Courier and Ives. Maybe that's just a brand.
Courier and Ives. Okay. Yeah, who knows?
Well, let's move to 57 across. That one looks easy. Blank hyphen mo. I think that's just going to be slow mo.
Low-mo. 61 down. Secure again as a door.
Relock. So that's 60 across and then 61. Yeah, so relock, secure again would be to relock. And if we do 61 down, it says
Oh,
2.0. Is,
I don't know. Shall we do 66 across? Main dish, entrees.
yeah. And
69. Please
explicitly said, stated. Yeah, I'd say so.
CEE is 2.0.
2.0. Huh. I don't get it.
I don't. I,
That might be in the blog. Sometimes I like to read their blog to get an explanation of what
they
the
have
heck they were
a blog.
thinking.
Okay.
They do, yeah. It's a crossword blog. People get real nerdy on it, and then you can actually like submit your own. There's software you can download to make your own crosswords. It's really interesting. I have it now, but it's actually a lot harder
Oh, I'm sure.
than it looked. So I haven't really finished any but one
I'm sure it's an art making these. Okay.
for real.
So we're now in the bottom right-hand corner. Right?
Yes, bottom right hand corner.
Do we want to do 54 down? I see is the clue.
Yes,
Station.
I see. And it starts with G-O, and it's 5 letters. Hmm.
We're both yoga teachers. So
Yeah.
62 across stands for a yoga beginner.
Oh, okay. Well, I know the last part is pose.
Yes.
What is
Tree pose.
tree? Oh my gosh, of course. Wonderful.
By the way,
What
how was your yoga class today? Was it canceled?
it was canceled? It
Are
was
you serious?
canceled again.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it has been canceled how many times now?
four. 4 times. I was supposed to teach my first class on the 5th. But
Oh
yeah,
my
on the 5th it snowed. The following week, like nobody signed up. No, 3 people had signed up, but 2 people canceled, so we just canceled the class. And then last week it snowed again, nobody came. And this week it didn't snow, but nobody signed up. So it's a brand new studio that's attached to a pre-existing spa that the same owner owns. And so I think really it's just a promotional issue. We just need to get more people in there. I'm sure it'll be better eventually, but it's
sure.
just amusing
Uh,
now.
I taught 1 to 3 times a week for 5 years.
Yeah.
Um, I,
How'd you
I
like it?
I love it. I mean, I miss it.
Yeah.
We can talk about yoga at some point. I've kind of transitioned more into just a seated meditation practice, and then when I
Oh,
work out,
okay.
I prefer to like work out and run
Like
or
lift.
lift that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, there are times when I definitely miss it. Um, okay,
I think 54 down is got it. Now that we got tree pose.
wait.
Like I see is got it.
Oh, got it. That makes sense. 67 across.
67 across. It comes with a charge. That's going to be an ion.
Ion. Oops. Fuck. Ion 70.
70. Ted Lasso, TV coach Lasso, I imagine. I have never seen the
Yeah.
show, but I know that name.
Yeah. Okay, last two. 68 across.
Ooh, foes opposite. I believe this is going to be
Ally.
an ally. Yeah.
And then 71.
Purple fruit used for flavoring. SL blank blank. Or oh, you know what? It's slow, like slow gin.
Okay.
Congratulations, you solved a Monday puzzle. We
So,
did it.
but at least one square is a miss. Wait, I messed up.
Oh, you might have a typo somewhere.
I probably do. We'll say it's a win.
Yay, we did
We did
it. How exciting.
it. Yes.
I like Twitch for old people. It's cool.
Uh, can
Um,
you hear me? Can you see me?
now I can. Yes. Can you hear and see me?
Hold on just one second. You're a bit shaky. People in the chat, let us know if you can. Let us know if you can see us.
Yeah, can you see us and hear us without issue? Thanks,
Okay.
Sophie.
Now I can see you. I just my Wi-Fi might have been fucking up, so I just switched to data.
Oh, okay.
And my yeah, it says you're good now. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so um well that was very exciting. Oh,
It
it says
was.
my internet connection is unstable.
Hmm.
Um yep, it was Steven who cut out for a second. Okay, just send up a flare if you can't hear us. Let us know in the chat if you can't hear me. Um
It,
okay.
it's amusing me how the two of us have like exactly the same like hair ticks right now. We just keep like swapping what side it's on our
Oh
heads.
my god, I can't stop. And actually
I
it's
know.
really hot in here, so I'm very sweaty and I might just put my hair up. Um so tell us about the article that you wrote this week.
You mean a published one or the one that I'm about to publish?
Oh, the published one.
Oh, what did I just write? God, I already forgot. Hold on a second.
I,
Was it the
I
one about? Oh, that was Saturn. That was my bonkers one.
I haven't read it yet, so you can fill me in.
Well, This one was, I don't know. I couldn't think of like, I have so many drafts going right now about like more serious topics and also just like some fun personal stories and stuff, but I wasn't really inspired to write anything else, and I was just kind of like feeling all over the place emotionally. So I just kind of like dumped on this post and
I
it
would
just kind
know
of has
anything
a
about that. Yes.
it kind of has, it's just like a really weird flow. I'm not even sure that I like it, to be honest. Other people have given me some positive feedback, which I appreciate. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of like a little poetic and a little like I've got a lot of my photography in there and then some like Spotify songs and
Nice. Let me pull it
really
up.
weird selfies and stuff. But yeah,
Nice.
it honestly, it hardly makes any sense. But I kind of enjoyed writing it, and as a result, like of less, I don't know, less structure or whatever, I started a new one that kind of has a similar, I mean, it makes the new one that I'm going to publish either tonight or tomorrow has a lot more structure to it. It makes more sense. But I decided I really like this multimedia thing, like having like audio and poetry and visuals and little Spotify embeds
Yeah.
in there and stuff like that. I think that's fun. It's like a real magazine or something. That's what it feels like to me. So I kind of enjoy it.
That's what I should do.
Yeah,
I'm let me pull up your article here. Um by the way, if you aren't yet subscribed to Lirpa Strike, you should be. Her publication is Just Saying. Very good.
thanks,
Yeah,
Stephen.
of course. Saturn. Nice. I
Yeah,
wish there was a way to like post the link in the chat.
yeah. I don't know how to do
Hold on.
that.
Hold on. I might have. Let me see if I can post the link in the chat. Just a second. Copy link. We will give it a try here. Paste. Yeah, there we go. I did it. Okay, there's
Awesome.
the link. I don't know if the link will actually work or not if you click on it, but there we go. Um,
But
yeah. So the pieces
yeah,
I
sorry.
wrote, it was a week of stoicism on sacred tension. So I wrote two pieces on stoicism. The first was called In Defense of Stoic Acceptance. And I wrote it because I routinely hear people kind of balk at the idea of acceptance or radical acceptance. And, friends have told me it just feels like you're letting bad things happen to you, or um, it's just passivity. And I don't think any of that is true. I think it can be true. I think that there are pathological forms of radical acceptance as are found in things like the 12 steps or in stoicism or in buddhism. There's you can definitely take one could definitely take radical acceptance as found in these traditions in a very dysfunctional direction, but I also think that you can take it in an incredibly empowering direction, where the argument that I make is that acceptance is the beginning of action. It isn't the end, it's the beginning. And what it does is it creates a mental map of the landscape so that you can navigate your life with greater resilience and with greater grace. My cat is yelling at me. Hold on. I know, I'm so sorry. He wants out. Okay. We no longer have Eli with us. So, and then I include three stories or three lessons in uh, the dichotomy of control being Epictetus's um, dichotomy, where there are things that are within our control and there are things that are not within our control. Within our control is our response to things. It is. I think he got the division a bit wrong. He's of what is and is not within our control. I think he fucked that up a bit, but that basic dichotomy of there are things within our control and things outside of our control, and knowing the difference and being able to navigate that difference of what we have partial control over or no control over, etc. He basically says that is the path to freedom. That's the path to resilience. And so I give three lessons from my life of the dichotomy of control, where I had to learn the dichotomy of control. And one was where I survived a shooting when I was 19 years old. And like confronting death in a really fucking horrific way, watching people
Yeah.
die and all that. I go into detail in the article. Um, and death is one of those things, either the death of other people in the past, or confronting death in the moment, or confronting your own mortality. All of these things. There's another cat that wants in. Just a second. I bet it's my tabby. Hold on. Come on.
I
Yes, it's
better
my
open my door so that my own cat can come in. Hank can finally
perfect.
meet
Hold on.
everybody.
Chasing her down. Oh, she doesn't want to be caught. When she gets into my lap, I'll show everyone Lilith the tabby. Um,
Lilith, I love it.
so, um, but yeah, you know, death is one of those things that we must accept eventually, and we have to accept the death of those around us. And I that was a lesson I had to learn at a very young age. I watched my friends get murdered in front of me when I was 19 years old, right? And then the
Mhm.
next lesson is came from, so that was the lesson that came from the world, and then the next lesson came from within me, came from my mind, and that was the lesson of my mental illness, my where my brain started going fucking sideways when I was 16 years old. And I live with bipolar, which everyone knows about because I write about it not fucking stop. And but again, it was realizing, okay, this is a fact of my existence, and I can create a mental map. I can to navigate. I can accept these aspects of my life and what I have to do in order to remain resilient, and then I can actually live a really full life. I can, in fact, live maybe a more informed and better life, and more resilient life than many people around me. And then the other lesson came from my body, which is I'm flaming fucking gay. And
Mhm.
I discovered I was 14 years old, living in a very conservative Christian community, and this was another thing that I had no control over, and I had to accept it, right? And
Mhm.
so, three lessons in the dichotomy of control, and and I conclude the article with the question, "What should I do instead?" You know, we
Mhm.
balk at we have this innate kick. Well, many people have this innate negative reaction to acceptance. But the question is, okay, in response to all the things in my life, confronting death, confronting illness, and then the other example was Helene, which
Mhm.
destroyed my entire region. I was um, basically trapped here in with no power,
Yeah.
no water for over a week. I couldn't get there. We were completely cut off um, for weeks, and what is the alternative to acceptance in those situations? And I
Right.
really believe that there is any. Every alternative to acceptance just creates more suffering.
Mhm.
Uh, so that was my first article, and then the second article was kind of taking a step. It's called "Confusing Stoicism for Stoicism,"
Right.
and it's taking a step back from the personal and exploring the ways that we confuse Stoicism, that we mistake capital S Stoicism for lowercase s Stoicism, right? So lowercase Stoicism, or as I like to call it, Broicism. Nothing wrong with being a bro, to be clear, but
It's
lowercase
just like
Stoicism.
wordplay.
Yes, exactly. Lowercase Stoicism or Broicism is maintaining a stiff upper lip. It's what the APA means when they say toxic masculinity is stoic. I mean, there
Mhm.
are so many other things that I could have picked a fight with the APA in that article, but I decided not to pursue. But that is the colloquial lower S case use of the word stoic. Very often, though, that gets confused with the philosophy, which is a very different creature.
Mhm.
And then, with that established, that we do confuse stoic with stoic, Broicism with stoicism, we there are things that the Stoics got wrong because they lived thousands of years ago. They had a limited understanding of the human mind. I
Mhm.
think that they were particularly wrong about negative emotions in some ways. They were brilliant in some ways, they were wrong in other ways, and that's fucking fine. There is no tradition, there is no single ancient tradition that we don't update.
Right.
We update Buddhism, we update Christianity, we've updated, all of these are living traditions, all philosophy from an ancient time. It is a living tradition, and we don't have to adhere to the letter of the law with all of
Right.
it. So that's what I wrote this week, and I got some good feedback. Some people said that they really enjoyed the articles, and one friend texted me saying that they really liked that I was writing about Baylor says Stoic literature isn't inerrant. Judging by what you would see on Reddit sometimes in the Stoic subreddit, it is inherent according to them.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there are some modern Stoics who the take it quite literally, or they take it quite dogmatically, and I think that that's nonsense. I think
Do you mean
that's
the
silly.
ones who will like cause themselves to actually suffer, just so that? Because I was listening to like a one of those summaries of an audiobook last summer on stoicism, where I think someone had said the more extreme ones would wear like hair shirts, things like that,
Yeah,
so that they were used to discomfort so that they could handle it better when it actually had to happen to them
yeah,
outside of their control. Is that who you're
yeah.
kind of referring to?
Well, I think that's fine. I mean, I think that I so the ter- I forget the term. There was a specific term for it. Um, Optional discomfort, basically, where where the Stoics would put themselves through periods of discomfort, just as a just as a spiritual practice almost, and as a practice in resilience. The thing is, we do this all the time. I mean, what is exercise if
Yeah.
not a practice in discomfort, or what is a long run if not a practice in discomfort? And so they would take it to extreme lengths sometimes, but like in principle I don't have a problem with that concept. There are some modern stoics who do take an extreme they become extremely suspicious of negative emotions. So it isn't
Hmm.
right to say that the ancient stoics were anti-emotion. They when you read the stoics, especially when you read Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, there's a lot of language in there about delight, about contentment, about joy, about taking delight in beauty. There's this beautiful passage in the meditation where Marcus Aurelius is um, he's meditating, or he's contemplating on baking bread, and the crack that in the top of the bread, and he just found that beautiful. Or he talked about the lines in an old woman's face and how beautiful he found this old person's face, or
Hmm.
the foam and the froth at the jaw of a boar,
Hmm.
how kind of fearsomely beautiful it is. And but then there are also these other passages where he talks about his love of people in his life, and so he was clearly a very connected person who really loved people in his life. And then the same is true of Seneca, where in his letters there's a lot of language um about friendship, about love, um about the virtue of friendship and the delight that he has in that. So there so it's wrong to say that they are anti-emotion, but it is correct that they had a very suspicious view of negative emotion, right? And sometimes to an extreme. So Epictetus basically talks about how a Stoic should essentially never experience grief. At least that's what he strongly implies. Whereas Seneca takes a much more humane approach to grief. He says grief is a natural human emotion, but you don't want it to essentially to overstay its welcome. And you
Hmm.
don't want these negative emotions to turn into passions. But then Seneca was also completely against anger. He was very suspicious of anger, probably because he saw the ways that anger were destructive in his own life. And but I think a more nuanced approach to emotion is to say these are natural human emotions that nature gave us for a reason, and we
Hmm.
need to experience them. And anger and grief, sadness, despair, all of these negative emotions, envy, the really ugly emotions, they are important. They evolved for a reason, and it is important that we integrate them into our human experience in a way that doesn't hurt us or hurt others.
Yeah.
And so what I like to say is, with the Stoics, it's helpful to turn down the volume on their intensity by like 40%.
Yeah.
It's helpful to turn it down by about 20 to 40%, so it's less insane, but there's still great wisdom there. So the example that I use in my article is Epictetus, where he says, um, imagine that everything you love imagine that you're imagine the loss of everything you love. Start first with the small things, like a ceramic cup. Imagine the ceramic cup shattering so that when it does eventually shatter, you won't be upset, and then work your way up
Hmm.
to your wife, your child. Tell yourself, when I kiss my child or I kiss my wife, I only kiss mortals and they will die. So that when they do die, you won't be distressed. And there's something about that that seems very cold, right? There's something about
Kind of.
that on its face seems very cruel. But when you look more deeply at it, if you do in fact remind yourself every single day that the person you love is mortal and will die, that brings a poignancy and sweetness into every moment with
Hmm.
that person. And it does mean that when they do eventually die, you will still grieve, but you will grieve with maybe a bit more grace. You will
Yeah.
grieve with a bit more resilience. And maybe it won't turn into the passion of grief that will destroy your life.
So what do you think the the problem when they say passion? I
Yeah.
imagine they're not using it in the exact same way that we would use it colloquially. I can never say that word, but you know the word colloquially. It's
Good
like
enough.
saying rear wheel drive. Anyway, I'm a better writer than speaker.
Me
Uh,
too. Yeah, same.
I I guess they must use passion in a different sort of different sort of way, because passion is something that most people would associate with positivity in a sense. I mean, you could
Mhm.
see how passion can become too intense
Yeah.
or focused on the wrong thing.
I forget the Greek word that passion corresponds to when they use it. I'll need so they had a really kind of complex, ancient, fairly sophisticated for what it was, but very alien to us understanding of emotions. And so the ancient world, they just had a very different psychology. They
Yeah.
had an understanding of how the mind works. But um, if I understand correctly, passion a passion is a destructive emotion.
You
It
know,
is. Yeah, go
is
on.
that context related to like the Passion of the Christ? Because that's something that I actually never really understood when that movie came out and I saw it, but I don't
Well,
know.
we do have Christians in the chat, so they can inform
Yeah, they
why.
could tell us,
Why
chat.
and I don't think
Pash.
there's actually a connection there
Yeah.
between the um Monique says, "Gotta put little people to bed, night all."
Good night,
Awesome.
Monique.
Good night, Monique.
Well, when I Google passion Greek meaning, it says the word passion comes from the Greek word pasho, which means to experience a sensation or impression, to feel, to suffer. It is used to denote strong and intractable or barely controllable emotion or inclination with respect to a particular person or thing. It can also refer to suffering, a passion, or a strong emotion, especially um, concupiscence. See, one of those people that like can read words but not say them. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it makes sense when you use it in that sort of context. I think we have completely changed the word passion, in the modern era to mean
Yeah.
something positive.
Yeah. So stoic passions are various forms of emotional suffering. Um,
Makes sense.
yeah. So, it. I think what the Stoics got really right is the cognitive theory of emotions, which is that. Oh, do you see my murder bunny in the background?
I do. That's creepy.
Yes. Um, I think what the Stoics got really right is that beliefs inform emotions, and beliefs inform feelings, and
Mhm.
feelings and emotions are different things. But what we believe about the world affects how we feel about the world. And what we believe about ourselves affects how we feel about ourselves. Um, and this is the foundation of cognitive behavioral therapy, which posits that if we are in enormous distress, it is because we have what they call a cognitive distortion. So we are engaging in all or nothing thinking, catastrophizing, et cetera, et cetera. And they have a list of all the cognitive distortions. And then what you do in CBT is you test your beliefs.
Mhm.
You examine the evidence, you test your beliefs, and then you reframe your beliefs in such a way that they are more accurate, but they're also less distressing, right?
Mhm.
And that is that is ripped from Epictetus. I mean, he basically, it's incredible to go back and read Epictetus and see where he talks about testing the
Hmm.
impressions. So he says everything, every thought, every sensation, that's an impression, and you must test them first by asking, are they under your control or not? Right.
Mhm.
So, and then CBT comes along in the 20th century and built on that concept, and they explicitly cited the Stoics as an inspiration. So they got some stuff really right,
Yeah.
and especially a lot of the practices, a lot of the spiritual practices in Stoicism are incredibly powerful, like the evening moral review. That can change your life if you do them consistently. However, that doesn't mean that they were anything other than men of their time who believed fucked up shit,
Yeah.
and they got some stuff really wrong. So, yeah,
As people in our age will be noted for in another 100 or 200 or a
102.
thousand years.
Yes, 100%.
Hmm.
Hold. I am going to get some more water. You can entertain the children while I'm gone. Just a moment.
All right, children, hello. While Stephen goes to get some water, um, what do you guys want to talk about? Uh, well, as we can see, I'm better at writing to people than talking to myself. So, well, I hope you're all having a wonderful night wherever you are in the world. It's 8:19 in Virginia and also North Carolina. How have I been? I've been pretty good. Thank you. Hello, Miley. Um, yeah, I've been pretty good. I spent all day yesterday writing, so I'm going to publish something tonight or tomorrow. Depends on how much I think it needs to be edited tonight. We'll see once I look at it again. If I look at it too many times, I'm going to keep editing it forever. So at some point, I'm just going to have to hit the publish button, at which point I'll find all of my typos. But so don't read it in email. Wait like 20 minutes and read it in your inbox and your Substack.
Oh my God, are you talking about the cross? the
The editing of the typos,
the editing. Yes, every time you hit publish, the moment you hit publish, you find a dozen
all of them.
mistakes.
Yeah.
All the,
After you've been editing
well,
for like a week and a half to begin with, and like are
well,
sure that you're done.
I think I think I figured out why I do that, actually. I
Yeah.
think I figured why I miss the edits when before I hit publish. I think
Tell
it's
me
because
more.
I think it's because I'm more relaxed after I hit publish.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, I need to publish this fucking article. I've been working on this all goddamn day. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I have to go to work in 5 minutes, like whatever the case may be, right? And and so I'm like really stressed trying to get the article published. Hold on. There's another cat at the door.
Oh, good. Gonna meet another cat.
Come on. I do have 6 cats, so
That's a
uh,
lot of cats.
it is a lot of cats. Um, but yeah, no, I think what I do is I'm super tense trying to get the article published, and because I'm so tense, I miss a lot of the mistakes.
Yeah, a
And
lot of the
it's
basic stuff.
it's after I hit publish that then suddenly I'm like, oh, thank God, I can relax, and then I see all the mistakes. So I think it's
Yep.
because of tense. I think it's because it's like trying to find your keys when you're late. Never happens.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't when you're late. You have to be relaxed and like calm your mind down.
I'm curious, just for some writer talk here. Do you ever have people look over your drafts for you? Like your husband or friends or anybody like that? Like do you ever have anybody kind of proofread?
Someone named Old Man Flappy Nuts just joined.
Hi, old man Flappy Nuts. Nice to
We're,
see you.
we're glad you're here. Uh, Sometimes there are times when uh, there are times when I'm publishing or I'm working on an article that I need to make sure that I get the tone right,
Yeah.
or I need to make sure that I don't fuck something up. Um, and when that happens, I have several friends who might look at it. Whenever John, my husband, is mentioned in an article, I always read it to him,
Yeah.
um, just to make sure that he's okay with whatever I write about him. Oh, here's a cat. This is oh, she just went into her crate. Come on, come back. Come here. You will meet Lilith momentarily. Come on. Okay. Well, she'll be or Wednesday. I mean, she'll be out momentarily. Um,
It's something
so
I've never really done myself. I mean, I think I'm just self-conscious about it. But this most recent one that I'm going to publish, I did like I joined a Discord with some Substack people, and I decided to just put my draft in there. And so it's interesting how I feel more self-conscious showing people a draft than I do just publishing it and having them read it when it's finished. Do you ever have that feeling?
yeah, yeah. Well, it's there's a difference between editor brain and reader brain,
Yeah,
and a reader is just much less critical and isn't looking in the way someone who's proofreading is looking.
true.
And
They're doing it with the express purpose of letting you know whether or not something is wrong, and you know that, so
yeah,
it gives you a
so
little more nervousness and
yeah. So when something is particularly controversial or I'm not feeling easy about something, and actually there was one article that is extremely not safe for work that I'm very proud of that will never see the light of day.
oh,
Um, maybe it will someday. But I had multiple friends look at that article, and they were like, "Stephen, this is fantastic. Maybe think twice before publishing it."
yeah,
And and so often I will have friends look at something if I'm unsure if I should publish it. I will look at it to make sure I'm not messing something up. Um, yeah, I have a small group of friends who will read stuff when I need them to.
that's
But
cool.
I do most of my editing myself. Um,
Same.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm constantly every goddamn time I hit publish and I find
Literally every
all of the
s-
mistakes.
so frustrating. And then, usually what I do, I'll publish it and then I'll like take my phone to the living room or something, and then I'll read it as though I'm just like a normal reader on my phone scrolling
Mhm.
through Substack. And that's when I find them, of course, and I can't edit them properly on my phone, so then I have to get up, go into my
Yep.
office and, figure it out again.
A really
Frustrating.
important a really important thing for me to do. I'm going to see if I can catch Wednesday now. Come here. Come here. Oh, she
I
went up.
hear her.
She went up onto my bookshelf.
Ah,
Hold on. I can swap.
squeaky. Hi, kitty cat. Hi,
Here,
Wednesday.
here she is. Okay. Oh, this is my office. This is my very spooky, weird office.
Ooh, it's nicely decorated.
Thank you.
Mine is only decorated right about here because I just moved my desk. But yeah,
Nice. I love the art. Love the artwork.
thanks. And there's a
Very
very blank wall because I took down a tapestry and I have not replaced it yet. So it's a little uninspiring over there. But this side is fun. Yeah.
Vix is asking, is she the one that got on your screen door? Yeah, that was her. The previous event. Um, so, oh, I was just going to say something. Um, oh, reading out loud to yourself.
Oh, yes, that's
Very,
incredibly helpful.
very important. Um,
It really helps me catch. I have a tendency to do incredibly long run on sentences. And if I can't get one of my own sentences out of my mouth without needing to take a breath, then I'm like, all right, I need to rework this one. But yeah,
yeah,
that's been really helpful when I've tried to do like my own voiceovers, but it's
yeah,
just a frustrating experience. So I haven't really done many. But yeah, that process is actually incredibly helpful because then you
yeah,
you actually get to see how it
totally.
sounds.
And I mean, I kind of have this system where I'll write, and then I'm like, okay, I need to put this away. I'll look at it tomorrow morning with fresh eyes, and I'll
Hmm.
sleep it. And something happens in the background when I do that that helps. It it's like it gels in my mind. It coalesces in a way. I get a clearer idea of what it should be. Um, it becomes sharper in my
Yeah.
mind, and then I'm able to like knock off the extraneous pieces. Because very often I forget that I'm writing a blog post.
Yeah.
I I forget that I'm writing a blog post, that I want to write some fucking long thing that brings in all of these other topics, right?
Hmm.
And um yeah, I forget that I'm instead the image that I like to use for blog posts is you're you're holding dim to the light, and you're turning each facet, and you're just looking at it in the light, and each facet is a different article. You're not
There you
going to
go.
every single thing and facet. And so the challenge that I constantly have to deal with in my articles is, okay, rein it in. Like,
Yeah. Same.
I'm not I'm not writing a fucking dissertation. I'm writing a blog post.
Hmm.
Rein it in, sharpen it, and then all that, and then what I do is I cut out all the extraneous bits. I cut out those extra paragraphs, and then those become other articles.
There you
Those
go. Yeah.
are the seeds for other pieces that I will write as follow-ups. Um, but yeah, um, also reading The Elements of Style over and over and over and over again. Very
Yeah.
important. Read read Stephen King says you need to read it at least once a year, and I think he's right about that.
Hmm.
Um, Mike says I have to think more horizontally instead of vertically. I don't know what does
That's a
that mean?
good way to put it. Yeah, I mean, you mean here's how I'm interpreting this, Mike. Let me know if like vertically, like you're just adding more and more and more to what you're writing, but horizontally means you're filling in the gaps and going like focusing more on the one issue, but like in a broader sense or with more detail, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he said
There we go.
exactly.
Cool.
Yay, got
Yeah.
it.
I
Um,
like being right about things.
yeah. So, um, one, have you read Sophie's piece yet?
Oh, the most recent one about the manufactured sexual consent? I
Yes.
did. I
Okay.
did.
I have
Yes.
an I have an article
Pull it
about
up.
it coming out next. I have an article about it coming out this week. Um, because I think that she makes some very good points. I do not agree with her choice to tell people to kill themselves. Not a fan. Don't do that. But that's fine. She can do what she does. I'm not going to tell her what to do. I
We
just
love
don't.
Edgelord Sophie.
What's that?
I said we love Edgelord Sophie.
We do love Edgelord Sophie. I disagree with her choice to do that, but it is indeed her choice. Um, Along the way, she made some. Sophie's just is laughing. Um, Telling people to fucking kill themselves. Jesus Christ. So I must log my moral difference with Sophie in that regard. However, I think that she makes some very good points about consent as a kind of an anemic ethic.
Mhm.
And I have a whole article that I'm writing about this that I'm very excited about. But I wanted to hear your thoughts on her article. Also, Sophie says I'm going to write an article about the politics of language inspired by the killing yourself response. LOL. Okay, I'm here for it.
That's going to be interesting. I'm
Yeah, that
I just opened it back up because I read it like right when it came out, and I just want to refresh my memory a little bit. But the consent thing in general, how because Kat Rosenfeld recently posted something about how consent just is like the concept of it and how it's taken over the way that we discuss sex in general, and how it's more problematic than we really thought it would be, and it's causing more problems.
yeah
But beyond, just because I mean, before people would complain, like, okay, this just takes all the passion and romance. There's that passion again, but the passion and romance out of the experience. But it goes beyond that at this point, which I guess, like we're talking about here, like, is consent enough when it
yeah.
comes to certain things?
And
I,
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
on. Keep talking.
Well,
No,
it what I wonder about, it's so hard of a line to, like, because there were a few pieces I've read about the Gaiman thing in general and about consent. There was someone, I can't remember her name, but I think her publication is like Pens and Poison or something like that. Um, she had written
her stuff.
one.
Yeah.
She what? I'm sorry, you broke up a bit.
I was, I was just saying her stuff is interesting.
Yeah. Sh there's like this turn that people are taking that's just like very much anti any sort of like kink.
Ink. Yes, I know. That's what I want to respond to because
Yeah.
I don't want to give away too much about my article this week.
Hmm.
But um, there is a. Let me pull up quote here. So I agree that consent is insufficient.
Yeah.
It is necessary, but it is insufficient. And, I remember when I was younger and in the hookup scene, having Sophie is asking, wait, did you interpret my article as anti kink? No. No.
No, no, that was a
Yeah.
different yeah, yours wasn't like that. It was just I've been reading a bunch of them, so a bunch of them are like going, they're all
Yeah.
blended together, but I think it was the Pens and Poison author
A lot of
whose
them
name
go,
I cannot remember.
well, a lot of them go in like a tradwife direction. Like
Yes.
they're like the Louise Perry's. And I actually really like Louise Perry. I think she's a very interesting thinker, although I
Hmm.
greatly disagree with her. But there are kind of the Louise Perrys and the Harringtons, Mary Harringtons, who kind of take the dysfunction, at least in my limited perspective, take the dysfunctions of
Hmm.
consent culture and rein it back,
Yeah.
and it becomes interpreted as, and there's kind of a very anti kink spin that's put on it. Um, but I remember I was thinking about this as I was as I've been writing this piece about, the ways the consent as a single ethic has led me astray, just in terms of, like, when I was much younger in the gay hookup culture, having experiences where it's like, okay, I consented. Why do I feel like shit?
Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
Why does this suck? And the reason it sucks is because consent is just one of many ethics that are
Yeah.
involved. And my favorite list so far for sexual ethics um comes from these two authors. They're both gay, and they wrote a book called Treating Out of Control Sexual Behavior, Rethinking Sex. It's a very clinical textbook for therapists. um but they have these six principles of sexual health, and the first one is consent, but there are five fucking more.
Yeah.
Okay, so consent, a voluntary cooperation and the permission to reach sexual satisfaction and intimacy with oneself and willing partners. Okay, 2.2 is non-exploitation. Exploitation can be seen as leveraging one's power and control to receive sexual gratification from another, in a way that compromises that person's ability to consent. And then point three is protection from STIs and unintended pregnancy. Number four is honesty. Sexual health involves direct and open communication with oneself and one's partners. Number five is shared values. Sexual relations between partners involve clarifying underlying motive, sexual standards, and the meaning of specific sexual acts for each person. And then six is mutual pleasure. So I think that these 6 points can actually be summed up in one overarching point, which is Dan Savage's campsite rule. What do you do when
Oh,
you
you
leave
leave
it?
it better than you
Yeah, leave it better
got it
than
or whatever.
yeah, you leave it better than you found it.
Hmm.
Neil Gaiman did not leave those alleged did not leave those people better than he found them.
Right.
Though it seemed that they gave consent, he did not leave them better. So technically, people can technically consent to situations where they are vulnerable to harm, where
Yeah.
they are being exploited, where there is not mutual pleasure, where there is dishonesty, where there is the risk of STDs. There people can consent to all of those things. And but which is why consent is not enough. It needs all of these other ethical frameworks, these
Hmm.
these other ethical rules to constrain it. But here's the point that I think is important. These rules are just as applicable in a kink setting or in a hookup setting as they are in a monogamous marriage.
Yeah.
The same
One
rules.
other thing, like most of those rules, except for the last one with like the mutual pleasure, I think almost all of those had been presented in terms of consent in the past. Like when consent started becoming, such a uh, popular concept. Like for example, I remember hearing a lot about, and you still hear about this, like this stealthing thing where a guy will take a condom off without telling the woman. That's
Yeah,
leaving her vulnerable to STIs, and that does, like, if she only consented to it with a condom, I mean, it's no longer consensual in that aspect. So I
absolutely.
think consent tends to cover some of those things, but
Hmm.
but then
There,
you have to go on and explain exactly what you mean by consent every time if you continue to use that word, in such a broad manner, I guess. So that's kind of a drawback.
totally. Yeah, and I think that people are always looking for sex that they don't have to think about.
Yeah.
Like, there people are always looking for the escape hatch
Hmm.
to sex that is simple and uncomplicated. So people watch porn to achieve a sort of pleasure that is simple and uncomplicated. People have hookups in an attempt to have simple and uncomplicated sexual release. People marry with the hopes of having simple and uncomplicated sex. It just does not fucking exist. All sex is a collision with ethics in some way, and it's going to be complicated.
Yeah.
And pleasure is complicated, and that's fucking fine. And if people are like, but that isn't sexy anymore, yes, welcome to the human condition. I'm sorry, don't know what to tell you. But actually, I think some of the best advice that I've ever heard in my life came from the sexologist David Lay, where he told me this in a podcast interview years ago, or last year, actually. Was it last year? Yeah, last year. He said, think about sex when you aren't horny.
Well, how
Most
long is that going to last? I don't know if you're thinking about it that much, right? I
Yeah,
don't know.
but think about your motivations.
Hmm.
Think about one's boundaries, one's desires, what one needs to communicate. To
Hmm.
think about all of that stuff when one is not horny. So because when someone is horny, all that shit goes out the fucking window.
Hmm.
Right.
You need the post-nut clarity to
And
discuss it.
yeah, exactly. Um so yeah, the whole thing, the whole Neil Gaiman situation in that article by Sophie in particular, I found very, very interesting because her point was that it actually consent as a single ethic opens people up to exploitation
Yeah.
and unhealthy and unfulfilling and unfun sexual experiences. And I agree with her on that
Hmm.
100%.
I had to cough. I muted. Okay.
Yeah, no
But
worries.
yeah, absolutely. And we're see, this leads into that the other ideas like where people are suggesting without outright saying it that I mean they want, and this isn't something that Sophie was talking about, but like it leads into when you have the question of okay, well, what do we do about this? And some of these other writers seem to know, right, what to do about it, and their answers are like, let's just go back to shaming everybody who's doing it differently than heterosexually and monogamously and everything else,
Mm.
which I'm not so I can understand the value of having like a social norm. And
Yeah,
plus, there's been a lot of discussion, and I think Mary Harrington, mentioned something like this too, like the more public sex is, the less erotic your personal life is. And, so there is something to that, to not like
mm,
being completely accepting of everything publicly. You can
yeah,
actually, if you are into the more fringe, interests, then you might just have more fun with them if it's actually still taboo, right? Because
yeah,
anything, and also the point that if people are attracted to taboo, then the less things are taboo, the more extreme things they're going to be seeking out instead,
yeah.
which could be very damaging for everyone involved, right?
Totally. I was thinking about that quote by Mary Harrington because someone I think retweeted or not retweeted, restacked that
I always
quote.
say that shit too.
Yeah, restacked that quote from her about the the law. I forgot the law, the name of the law. But the more public sex becomes, the less erotic your sex life becomes, and I think that is I'm trying to I've been trying to delineate the ways in which that is true and the ways in which that
Yeah.
is true, right? Because I think that there are ways in which that is certainly true. The more there is, I think it is true. I might be wrong about this, but I think it is true that Gen Z is having less sex
Yeah.
than millennials and Gen X and boomers and so on had before them. And yet, Gen Z is living in such a sexualized culture,
Right.
ready access to porn, ready access to OnlyFans, very sexualized media and music. Um, and um, and so there's something there. There's something there. On the other hand, I also think about the necessity of really beautifully erotic art
Yeah.
and how important that is.
And that's been around much longer than any, you
Yeah,
know, kind of technology
Yeah,
that produces
totally,
porn in your pocket.
totally. And so what I want, and so there, I want to like put on the brakes just a bit with the rule of um with that rule where it's like, yes, there is definitely a sense in which the more publicly erotic there is,
Do it,
the
Sophie. I want to read it.
yes, do it, Sophie. I want to. She says, I want to make a post about porn versus erotic art. I would love to read it. Oh, and that actually that gives me that I had an idea yesterday that I want to throw out to my audience and see if they would be interested in me writing about. It has to do with porn and erotic art and media. But I'll get to that in a second. I want to say we should double down not on withdrawing, but on being more mindful and skillful in the conversation that we're having and in the media that we are creating. Because if we do withdraw, then all we're doing is we're giving Pornhub the the platform to be sex ed
Right.
for generations, right? Um, and so there's a way in which Harrington is absolutely right, but there's another way in which I'm not sure the answer is a retreat in the way that I am interpreting her to be suggesting. Does that make sense? It's
Yeah.
like what I want to see is good art, good writing, good discourse, good conversation, good about sex, because
Hmm.
sex is a part of the human condition, and therefore we should write about it, and we should talk about it, and we
Yeah.
should about it. But we need to do it in a way that is skillful,
That
right?
brings the beauty back into it and less like raunchiness, maybe.
Well, brings beauty back. The term that I want to use is skillfulness. There's a there's a thoughtfulness and skillfulness and mindfulness to it. It isn't brain rot,
Yeah.
and I've I think that there's a lot of sexual content that's just brain rot. It's the skibbity
Hmm.
porn, right?
Hmm.
And the more of that there is, like, I oppose brain rot. I oppose, the fucking jackhammering gross porn that teaches horrible lessons, right?
Right.
I'm that, and I think that that's bad. Anyway, I'm just thinking out loud. I don't have a I what I'm saying is I see the wisdom in what Mary Harrington says.
Yeah. And it
And
feels somewhat intuitive, but like you were saying, you want to delineate like where some of this
yeah.
is going or where it's coming from because there is something just a little bit. Yeah, I like where you're going with it, more skillful and I mean
Well,
even
well,
more.
yeah,
I still want to say more beautiful just because I'm stuck on like the old statues and, like
yeah.
actual nice erotic art, that kind of thing. But
And that actually gets to a point that brings me to a point that I think is really important, which is I have made a rule for myself when I write, because I cover some fucked up shit. I mean, I talk about suicide and despair and mental illness and violence and all kinds of stuff, right? And sexuality, and but I've made a rule that I must make it beautiful. That's my rule.
yeah,
Doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter if I'm writing about the most fucked up shit imaginable. I must make it beautiful, and that means making using beautiful prose, trying to use good sentence structure, trying to draw out deeper themes about human nature.
yeah.
Um, that's my rule. And if I can't follow that rule when I write, then something doesn't get published.
Hmm.
And kind of my model in this is actually Clive Barker, the great horror writer. Um, I have a Magica and Weave World and lots of his books. But he's a great horror master. And what I love about Clive Barker so much is he goes to some very, very dark places. He covers the the darkest depths of the human heart, in his writing. the perversity, the ugliness, the lust, and the way lust and carnality destroys us. He
Hmm.
really gets into that dark shit, right? But he writes about it in such a sublime and literary way that it transmutes it. It's like alchemy.
Huh.
And so he covers like freaky fucking BDSM intergalactic species cosmic horror bullshit, but he writes in kind of like that post World War II British style that I love so much,
Yeah.
like the style of C.S. Lewis and T.S. Eliot and Tolkien and Evelyn Waugh, and he writes in that tone, that style about really fucked up shit, and so he's like my inspiration
Huh.
for how I write about this stuff, and that's my rule: is make it beautiful no matter what.
I like that rule. Apparently I've been sleeping on this whole Clive Barker thing. Who knew? Like, I just
Uh,
really thought, like
he's so
horror,
good.
like, and that's it.
Well,
But
so he's he's known for his films, and
hmm
that's because his so he directed Hellraiser, the first two Hellraiser movies, um and he did several other movies that are less famous, but none of his films will prepare you for how beautiful his writing is.
hmm. Is there a book you'd recommend? I might want to check one out.
So if you're into fantasy, is very, very, very.
Oh, you just muted.
Oh,
Oh, there you are. Okay.
okay.
But you said last I heard was if you're into fantasy, which to
Yeah.
be fair, I'm not.
Okay.
But
So if you're into fantasy, do Weave World. If you're into horror, do either the Books of Blood or the Hellbound Heart.
ooh, Books of Blood.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna look into these.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do it. There's fantastic. They're awesome.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so I mentioned earlier that I have an idea for an article.
Yeah.
So one of the things, since we are on the topic of eroticism and sexuality and porn and consent and all that stuff, one of the things that I am encouraging that well, one of the things that I think is important for people to do is to expand beyond porn in
Hmm.
their patterns, especially men.
Yeah.
Mm, I think that's really important. They don't need to stop watching porn. I think it's just important that they move beyond porn. Um, and I posted a note to this effect, like guys need to diversify their erotic patterns, their arousal patterns. So what I want to do is I want to enlist a bunch of guys to jerk off every day to a different type of media
Huh.
and then
I
report
like it.
back to me on the experience and I will write up the experience.
That's fantastic. I hope you get participants.
As Sophie says, we should collab on something if you're down. I'm totally
You
down.
should. You guys,
Yeah,
yeah. Sophie's
yeah,
like the survey queen right now. Her and
yeah. I
Ayala.
would love to. So it's just something, and so maybe I would ask some of my friends, some of my guy friends, like, hey, I like on one day jerk off to music, on another day jerk off to audio erotica, on another day jerk off to written erotica, on another day do porn, but maybe do like more erotic, a cinematic, well-made porn and not just brain rot. And and then report back to me through this experience and tell me what the experience is like.
Would you
Um,
ask gay guys to jerk off to straight porn? That's funny.
sure, why not? Or vice versa. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe I would ask straight guys to jerk off to gay porn. No, well maybe, but what I have in mind actually is to ask guys to experiment with other mediums and different types of porn that might involve a storyline, porn that might involve beauty and actual cinematic beauty. Um, because I do think that men over rely on porn
On the
and that
visual part, even
on, on the visual part,
partially.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
I mean, in addition to the brain
Yeah,
rot part.
in addition to the brain rot part, because what that does is it externalizes, it disconnects guys from what's going on inside their body,
Mhm.
and that's a problem, if that is built up over time. And so this is a thing that I am thinking of doing, and if people would find that interesting, let me know, and maybe I will do it.
I would find it very interesting.
Okay,
Yes. I think that would be a hit. I think you should do it.
sweet.
And I think a collab with Sophie would be pretty cool too.
A collab with Sophie would be awesome. Yeah, Sophie, I'm
Hmm.
collab. I do want to do more collabs this I do want to do more collabs this year.
Me
um,
too.
yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
like a fun thing, a fun new thing for 2025. I've also, one other thing I decided I'm going to do is more like multimedia posts, like the one I'm working on right now, that just
Yeah,
includes like so much stuff like videos and songs and poetry and pictures. I mean, I already do pictures a lot, but like photos from whatever story I'm telling. But yeah,
I,
I think I'm going to really load them up and not care about that stupid little warning that says, too long for email. I'm just going to say, screw it. Everything's too long for email because the pictures are too large.
totally. I wish I were a more visually capable person. Hold on just one second.
Mhm.
I fix something here so that I don't get off.
Sophie, I agree. We should all do one together. That'll be a lot of fun.
Please
I
hold
like
just
what
a
you.
moment.
Oh, sure.
Keep talking.
Well, I like what you do, Stephen, with your, like, you typically have like one really fitting sort of image, whether it's like AI or something else, and that just like flows with everything else. It's got like a nice sort of, it's just like a headline image that tells you, gives you the vibe, and then you read, like there's a lot of value in that, I think, for sure. And I think it
Good.
looks sleek.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, I anguish. Oh, can you see me?
Hmm.
Okay, perfect. Um, I um, I anguish a bit more over the images than I probably should.
Yeah.
Um, I'm super stressed about AI and whether I should use it or not.
God, I know.
I
Especially someone like me who is more visually inclined, like, to create things like that. But I still use AI images when it's something that I don't have a photo of my own for. And for
Yeah.
whatever reason, I prefer it to like stock photos that are like embedded within Substack, like the Unsplash that everyone uses, just
Hmm.
because, you can create something completely that fits exactly with what you're writing about. Like I did that goofy one about cultural appropriation in yoga months ago that I created an image for that, and there was like cows in a church with like, I don't know, it was the most absurd image you could think of. But I mean, there was no way I was going to get like a stock photo of something of what I wanted to illustrate. So
Yeah,
I don't
totally.
know.
There are times when I'm able to find a stock photo that works.
Hmm.
Um, because in a cover photo, I'm always looking for something that someone can look at, be like, "Oh, that's interesting," and then read the article and then go back and look at the picture and be like, "Those are the themes.
Yeah.
Those are the themes in that picture." That's always like what I'm trying to do with the cover photo, and so often stock photos just can't do that.
Right.
Um, and oh, Mike says I used Fiverr and it was slower, but essentially served the same purpose.
Sweet.
Interesting.
I wonder how
How do
many
you?
people on Fiverr are going to start using AI for stuff,
Yeah.
for the
Do
things
you,
they create.
do you use the AI on Fiverr, or do you commission people, Mike? We'll see what he says, but yeah, I'm always. Um, it felt like I wasn't outsourcing my philosophy to a big corporation. Fair enough.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I'm always so stressed about whether I should use AI or not for my posts.
Yeah. Well,
I
I
go back.
think that when you do the thing that says like, I mean, I feel like AI images are pretty obvious, but at the same time, I think it calms people down a little bit when you say that it's AI. Like there was one that I did about that hot guy at my high school that didn't know he was hot, and I made
Oh
an
yeah,
AI
that
image
was a
of him.
great article, by the way. Good.
I liked that one. That one came out of me in like an hour. It was so fast. But
Hmm.
which is funny. It's those ones are the ones that end up being like the most popular, not the ones you work on for like 2 weeks straight. But anyway,
Yeah,
I got AI to help me with that image to make, because I
yeah.
wasn't gonna like take a picture of the yearbook or anything, but I did put on there that me and Copilot or whatever I used,
Hmm.
collaborated, just to be sure that people understood, right? But
I have a beef with Copilot
yeah.
because I use Microsoft Word, and suddenly Copilot was talking to me in Microsoft Word when I was trying to write,
Oh hell no.
and was and you can, and now there's a little icon next to the cursor that you can push, and it will, and you can, and it will write AI stuff right into the document for you. It is integrated into Microsoft Word, and I'm like, it brings out like the suspicious granny in me.
Uh-huh.
Like, what is this newfangled bullshit? Uh,
Right.
I'm still going to use Word, but it's weird.
Oh,
It,
I remember your note now because you were curious about whether or not they were actually like taking your words to learn, not just to, suggest,
yeah, just their notes
whatever.
from therapy sessions on Microsoft Word. Like, um, yeah. So my question was whether, because my Word documents are now integrated with Copilot, whether Copilot is using it as training data.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, all
Yeah,
very.
it's hard to say.
Do you ever use Do you ever use AI for your writing in any way, like as an
Um,
edit, or
I've put drafts into Chat GPT and Claude to ask it like are my transitions okay, things like that, like as a editor
yeah,
sort of. But I've never
it's so
used
bad.
any of it. Yeah, it's and it's weird because like I've done a couple different things. So I'll put a whole one in there and be like, analyze this for me, tell me about how it's written. And it will give me all sorts of positive things like use very descriptive language and this and that. And then I'll say, okay, now give me critical feedback. And then I'll post the exact same thing and it'll say you have too many run-on sentences. Like it'll just say the opposite of what it said.
Yeah, no, it totally. ChatGPT is like a very smart but very insecure high school student who's calling for your approval
Yeah.
or chronically dishonest with you. And
Yes.
um, yeah, I've tried using ChatGPT to edit my stuff, and it
Mhm.
just does not go well. It does.
Yeah. The only thing that I've found useful about it is when it tells me like that my transitions aren't smooth enough because then I realize, oh yeah, that my brain was doing a thing that I forgot to put, on the in the
Yeah,
document, and so I'll, find a way to transition it more smoothly or something. And so
yeah.
I guess that's really as useful as it's been to me. I found more fun and usefulness like putting things that I've already published in there and being like, tell me what kind of person wrote this. Like Walt Bismarck does that, and so I'll like go in and I'm like, that sounds interesting. I want this thing to analyze me like like a psychoanalyst or psychotherapist.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting, but I also feel the same way about its like about the way that it when you ask it to give you feedback versus critical feedback, it does the same kind of thing. Like it just kind of gasses you up a little bit,
Oh
like
yeah.
I'm like, come on, I want a little more honesty from my, pretend computer friend here. But I don't know.
Um. Okay, reading some comments in the chat here. Teresa Talion. By the way,
Oh,
hello.
hi, Teresa.
Glad
I
you're
can't
here.
see the. Oh, there's Bo. Hi, Bo.
Okay, so
Now I
Teresa.
can see the chat. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. So Teresa says I use it to find sources and make outlines, but I do the writing. And then Sophie says, "Oops." Sophie says I ask it to quote write an essay criticizing the author in a really aggressive way.
Perfect.
Bo says Microsoft takes the legal position that they can train on anything that is freely available on the internet, same as the Google search case from back in the 90s. It's a copyright position. Not sure where that court case is at the moment. Um, Mike says, yeah, piracy is good now, basically, just not for us. Right.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
pretty
So,
much.
but I mean, the thing is, I've been writing on the internet for over a decade now. I mean,
Hmm.
I've been writing pretty consistent, pretty consistently since like 2011, 2010, 2011. And so there are, and then I was a podcaster for 6 years when I was doing the Sacred Tension podcast. And that was hundreds of hours of my voice. So they're 100% voice models based on, but they're 100% AI voice models that have used me as training.
Hmm.
Um, and the internet, my writing has been on the internet for over a decade, and so it's definitely been used to train AI models. And so it's whatever. It's
Yeah, same. I mean, to be honest, I don't care that much about my own because I've also been writing on the internet since. I mean, I was just thinking about this today because I was going back through my live journal, which I used to have since 2002 when I was 18. And because I go back through that to look for like detail, because I used to write in that thing all the time. So details for my little personal stories that I write.
yeah,
And I was just thinking about it like, Jesus, 2002. That's like, it's a long ass time, like 23 years. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, all my shit's on the internet, all over the place.
yeah,
Like AI's got it all, you know?
yeah. AI has it all. I mean, people. My entire spiritual, religious, and philosophical journey from like conservative, celibate, gay Christian and ex gay kid to Catholic to
Hmm.
progressive Christian to atheist to 6 years of being a Satanist and a leader in the Satanic Temple to wherever the fuck I am now. Like all of that is on
Right.
the internet. People can track that entire thing.
Yeah.
It is yeah.
You
Anyways,
know, now I want to
yeah,
ask AI to like write a mini autobiography about me just because I want to see exactly how much shit is on the internet. And that's probably a great way to round it up, you know?
yeah,
Like tell me about,
yeah. That's a very, very
you
good
know,
idea. All right. Well, we have been going for over 2 hours now.
we have. It was
And
fun.
yeah, this
We
was great.
I think that we're going to start a trend here with old people game Twitch.
Oh, yes, old people game Twitch. Um, we can thank you everyone for joining us. We have 53 people
Yes,
in the chat, which is awesome.
it
Uh,
is.
and it's also been really cool to see some familiar faces in the chat and
Yeah.
see some people I read popping in.
Yes, that's been
Um,
awesome.
it's been very, very cool to see all of you here. I would like to do more of this as long as it's chill and doesn't require me to work. That
Exactly.
that's the goal. I'm happy to show up and talk and do live stuff on Substack for my subscribers and hang out with other content creators, hang out with other writers. I just don't want to have to fucking work.
Right.
Um
Just want to kind of
like
chill here.
yeah, like
And
I suggested to Lirpa, we could call this, crosswords and cross dressing, and both come in like cross dressed. Like I could come in like a gorgeous gown or something, and then I was like, no, that would take too much work. I don't want
yeah.
to fucking do that. Um, but yes, I would love to do more of these, and also I don't know if live can bring on a third person. Maybe it's
I think
just
you can have three. You can have a
okay.
total of three. Yep. I
Okay,
just looked it up just before we did this, just to be
okay,
sure.
awesome. Because I would love to invite other writers to do the crossword with us. I
Yeah.
think like get fucking Andrew Sullivan to come do the crossword with us.
Can
We
you
should,
imagine? That would be
we should get
hilarious.
Oliver, what's his name from the Common Reader. We should get we should get some other people, some excellent writers to come play the crossword with us. I think that would be
Let's do
fun.
it. And we should
Yeah.
do it on a Thursday. That's a crazy crossword day because they make all the completely nutty clues and yeah,
We can
that's
do
gonna be that'll be a challenging one. It'll be
awesome.
fun.
Yeah, so I mean, and we can talk about scheduling at some point, but most evenings I'm free. So
Same.
we'll figure something out. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us. This was a lot of fun, and hopefully we will do it again.
Yeah, thank you everybody. We'll see you later.
Toodaloo.